Hi. Okay, so I remember. So Hurricane High School. We had some. When we moved here, the football team was starting to get noticed. Hurricane High School, Utah was starting to get noticed because we had one good player. His name was Brian Scott. Yeah. Oh, my nose is itchy. They played, and Jeremiah he was really good too. So he was able to. I mean, I trained my son. His sisters, fucking Lini and Lena, they fucking beast him up. And those girls went to Hurricane High School, and they got the boys all hyped up and shit. So, the football team was doing great. There was so anyhow, Brian Scott, he was getting noticed. Our boys out here was getting noticed nationally. And my son happened to be top 5 pick. I mean, recruiting for colleges and shit. And so Hurricane was starting to, expose and shit to others, to the state with recruiting football and stuff. I mean, Utah was getting noticed.
I see it.
Okay, bye. And but that poor kid died. Fake cancer. Brian Scott, and they did this. I believe he was number 8, and they have his number on. It's so sad, right? Why would they put a fucking number up there at the Hurricane High School? For what? The kid died, motherfucker. And we also had a really good kid here that rumors he just happened to go over a cliff and fell down and died or whatever. He was friend with my daughter Elise in middle school, I think, or from elementary. I don't remember his name. But it was really sad. Kids were dying in our neighborhood. And weird shit was happening. Racist. Remember that one time there was a flag, a big plastic shit that was hang at the high school. It says something like KK something, racist something, right? I think they set that up, that because if they can pull me over every minute, every second, every 6 times a year for driving, they couldn't notice somebody was tagging the high school and painting it or put some fucking banner on at the school it's supposed to be racist. Come on. Seriously. Yes, just don't do nothing, right? And also I remember there were kids that they did something at the high school when my daughter Lini graduated. I think they took something a statue something at the Hurricane High School, and then they got in trouble for it, and they were supposed to graduate that year. I can't think of the name right now, but I think they're from California. My girls were good friends with them in high school, and they got arrested or shit, and then scare those poor kids. They got arrested and shit. And then they let them out. I think they just scare those kids. Fuck. But I never saw them again. Like, I think they left Hurricane. They moved out from here. What's this? I can't think of the name right now. But anyhow, the school was doing really good. Kids, I mean, they were just... It was like... My family was like a new addition to a lot of these. I believe they're like originally from California but moved here. So my kids just like connected to them. They just mixed together and they just had a fun time, good time. So the high school was doing really good with football and also volleyball. And then they start dying off. Like Brian Scott died. There was a little young kid who was a rising kid with athlete. He happened to die. A lot of kids die here, and I never hear anybody getting locked up or being trial for it. They just let them go. And then but I didn't think too much of it because I was too busy taking care of my kids and working and shit. But there was a lot of fucking death going on here. And also accident, car accident, and the kids were involved in it. So I don't know why I came to talk. I didn't mean to talk about that, but it just happened to just pop up. Oh yeah, so they did all this recruiting and shit. So I have a lot of money in the bank. So we would travel, and that was our family vacation. We travel, and I remember we went to my son had a it was the championship game at Salt Lake City. We were staying at the hotel, but I noticed there was what do you call these people? News people, NFL, football recruiters. I've seen them on TV for CBS or CNB or, a big time no name on television. I've seen them. They would be at the hotel where we're staying at. There's one guy, he's like buff and shit. I didn't like him. I had this bad vibe from him. And then there was this other guy, he's locally, and I've noticed his room was right next door to us. And when we were taking the elevator, he followed us, and we took the elevator together. And he looked like one of those, he looks like a camera guy, because I can tell, you have a backpack, you have a camera. I can tell if you're professional or you claim to be professional people. I can tell. I can spot them right away. And then I remember we went to they followed us there, and they probably like videotape me, my son, and everybody else, and videotape me because the mob was like, there she goes. And there goes the kid. Okay, so I remember when All Poly came in, and my ex, he introduced us to the All Poly shit. And I didn't like that. I was not okay with that. I told my ex, like, my son is doing great without them. Why? Waste all that money and that traveling and all of that shit to go there for what? He's already exposed. He don't need. Why do you want to start doing that shit? I was pissed. But anyhow, fuck. I was okay. Then I support. Start using my fucking saving and shit to listen to him, to do what he wants. And my poor kid, my son, he's always out traveling, unnecessary trip. And I'm like, this kid is already noticed. Like, Nike are already looking at him. LA is already looking at him. What more do you fucking want? So it was bad. But I went anyway because he's my fucking son. And you just go like, fucking shit. Then all these fucking recruiters got involved in his fucking business. But I'm gonna stop talking about it because he's an adult and he did ask me to leave him out of it. So I'm gonna leave him out of it. I respect him. I respect my son. So I'm gonna leave you out. Okay, bye. But I'm going to talk about my money. Fuck. Because it's my business. So he was noticed everywhere. And then he wants to join the All Poly shit. Waste our fucking time to go all the way to LA for a fucking All Poly shit. They have the boys run in the fucking ocean sand for what? You do not do any workout on the fucking sand, you dumb. Hurt the kids' vein and shit like that and fucking drag them down on so they can be heavy duty. Yeah. So me and my ex, we were always fighting and arguing in the fucking hotel. Oh shit. Fuck. I just want to go to the ocean and play in the ocean. Leave me the fuck alone. So he'd be like, rah, rah, rah. What else can I remember about traveling for the All fucking Poly set, son of a bitch? And that lady Tanel, she was happened to be there. But the reason why is because I reach out to the All Poly and ask them if it would be great if they have her to perform at the All Poly, because my daughter, I'm a businesswoman, so I contact All Poly on social media. I believe it was Facebook or email, it'll be great if they're gonna have a show to invite Tanel, she's from LA, to perform there. So surprisingly, she happened to be there. You're welcome, Tanel, but what the fuck? You drink too damn much. And my daughter was there. We were all there. But I was turned off the first day we went there. I look around and shit. It looks like a circus with no clown and no rides. It was just fucking ugly fucking people from God knows where. They claim to be Samoan, and they delicate one of the football player. He killed her himself and shit. They did a delegation for him, and the family was there. And I was sitting there like, I'm very judgmental. What is that shit has to do with this fucking all poly shit? Then I was so over it. So I heard Tanel was performing at Tanel had nothing to do with the all poly, but she happened to be there. Maybe she's locally from there. But because I was following Common King, because my daughter was, she connected me to them. So, and Tanel was with them, was also a performer here at Dixie with the Common King. So Tanel, I looked her up, and she was going to perform at what's that? Fuck. There's a group, they're gospel singer. They're Samoan. So I wanted to go there and I don't think my girls was there. I don't know. We'll just forget it. So we happened to go. I wanted to go to the concert and check out Tanel, and she was performing, and then I was there with my son Quando, and I was there with my boys and my ex, and Ethan. Yeah, but I don't think Angelina was there because she was on her mission. Yeah. So when she was on her mission, I was still communicating with the Common Kings and, keep that relationship open. So when my daughter gets back, she can continue doing what she was doing before she left on her mission. So, and that was my purpose of connected with the Common Kings and Tautua and Tanel. But now that I think about it, my daughter was still on her mission. Yeah. Something like that. That was the first time with the all poly. And then the second time, my daughter was already out here. So we went on the second trip to LA. So that picture with Tanel and my daughter Elisa and my daughter Angelina, that was taken in LA. But Tanel wasn't performing. She was just happened to be there. I think maybe she had cousin or brother or sibling that was also involved in the all poly camp. Yeah. Alright. There. So. But our first trip it was at San Diego. That was our first trip to all poly with my son Jeremiah, with the boys. It was just the boys and my daughter Elisa and my ex. It was It was in San Diego at the beach, and that's when I was like pissed. I was mad. I was not happy with what I saw. Having the fucking my poor son running on the ocean and shit and the sand and shit, and that poor kid. I just want to go eat. The fuck? What is all this shit going on? That was my attitude there. I was a very unhappy mother, and me and my ex, we were fighting in the hotel and shit. And my son, my voice was like, okay, bye. Okay, the fuck. Okay, that was my memory on her first all poly piece of visitation to San Diego. The waste of time and money and energy. The hell?